Hello everyone! Line charts can be very useful for comparing the development of different products over time. But if there are many products in the chart, it can become very overcrowded and difficult to read. So an alternative to declutter the chart is to compare each product to the average. In this video, I will show you how to make a dynamic chart with rolling 6 months, where the product can be chosen from a drop-down list. For example, product 2 mostly overperforms, and product 3 is an underperformer. 4 shows mixed results. Let's see how this is done. I will show you two solutions using dynamic named ranges, one with the offset function and the other with the index function. The products have to be chosen from a drop-down list and the legend has to be dynamic. I would also like to keep rolling 6 months in the chart because I'll be adding more months to the table and I would like to keep the chart up to date. So let's see how to do this using the offset function and dynamic named ranges. In the chart, I'm going to right-click and under Select Data, leave only one product series and the series for average sales. I will also add a drop-down list by going to Data, Data Validation, choosing List, and as a source, specifying the 4 cells with the product names. For the axis labels of the rolling 6 months, I will need a formula with the offset function. Offset. The offset function returns a range that is a specific number of rows and columns away from a certain cell. It can return a single cell or a range of cells. The reference or starting point will be cell A1, and the number of rows that need to go down will be determined by the count function, count of column A. This function does not count the header because it does not count cells with text. I need to stay in the same column, so 0. And I need 6 cells backwards from the end of the table, so -6. And 1 for the width because I'm staying in the same column. Let's cut the formula. Go to Formulas, and under Define Name, type Axis Labels. And paste the formula here. So now we have the first dynamic named range for the axis labels. The values of the average sales are 5 columns away from the axis labels. So under Formulas and Define Name, I will type average values, and the formula will be offset of axis labels, 0 for the rows because I need the same rows, and the column offset determined by count A function, which also counts the text, of the first row, -1. That was the second dynamic named range, and I'll also need a third one for the sales values of the products. But in this case, the column will be determined by the choice in the cell K15. So under Formulas, Define Name, I will type product values, and the formula will be offset of axis labels, again by 0 rows, and the column offset determined by the match function, which determines the relative position of the value in cell K15 in the first row. Exact match, -1. Okay. All three ranges are visible under Formulas and Name Manager. Please note that in all the formulas that I used here, I used absolute cell references, and this is necessary for this method to work. I will use these ranges as chart references. In the chart, again under Select Data, I will edit the axis labels. I will leave the name of the sheet an exclamation mark and type axis labels. I will choose the average sales, click Edit, leave the series name as it is, but under Series Values, I will leave the name of the sheet an exclamation mark and type average values. For the product, under Edit, I will change the name of the series and reference the cell K15. And under Series Values, I will leave the name of the sheet an exclamation mark and type product values. And the chart got updated. In the chart, let me select the series for average sales, and the source data is correct. Let me select Product 1 series, and again the source data is correct. Let me choose Product 2 from the drop-down list. The legend gets updated, and again the source data is correct. Let me choose Product 4, and the same thing happens. And if I add an additional month to the table, the rolling 6 months get updated. Let's make the colors more vivid. And also, in the drop-down list, I would like to extend the cell reference under data validation to include the average. In this way, if in future an additional product is added to the table, the drop-down will get extended. I can also use the index function instead of offset. This solution may be more interesting to you if you're working with a very large file because of recalculation time. The offset function will get recalculated every time something changes on the sheet, even if the cells related to it are not affected. For the dynamic axis labels, the formula will be index of column A, the row number, so number of the last row given back by count A function, which also counts text, so also counts the header, of column A, to index of column A, and the row number given back by count A of column A, -5. I'm using an older version of Microsoft Excel to be fair to all the viewers, so the array is not being shown. Let's copy the formula. And under Formulas and Name Manager, paste it under Access Labels. So for the average sales, I will adjust the formula the following way. Let me copy the text. And it will be indexed from column A to, for example, column G to allow for an addition of another product in future. And in addition to the row number, I will add a column number, which will be determined by the match function. So match will give back the relative position of the text, average sales thousands. In the first row, exact match. And the same thing I will do here. Let's copy the formula. Let's also evaluate it using F9 key. And now we can see the whole array. And it's correct. Under Formulas, I will go to Name Manager and paste the copied formula under Average Values. For product values, I will also paste this formula, but instead of average sales thousands, I will reference K15, where the values of the drop-down list are. Let me add data labels, but just to the product, not the average. And now let's test. And the chart gets updated. If I add another month, the chart gets updated to show the rolling 6 months. And that's it. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe for more practical spreadsheet solutions.